The Awakened Awareness of Separation, Part 4.
Saroj Doshi, Manjula Malde, Mumbai. Go ahead.
Jai Sachidanand. Deepakbhai, every morning I decide, but I don't know what happens. Then I feel burdened and scared.
What exactly happens? Does the awareness of the pure soul not remain?
It doesn't.
Why are you thinking that the awareness doesn't remain? You are the one who knows that the awareness doesn't remain. That means you are indeed present. We want our relative level to increase as well. So if the awareness doesn't remain, have file 1 ask for energies again. Don't feel burdened.
It all gets mixed up.
Even if it gets mixed up, after some time, separate it. If a small child does this and mixes up the wheat and the rice, then you should separate them. What else do you have to do?
But that should happen, shouldn't it?
Ask for energies. Do you get time to do that or not?
Yes, I do.
Then spend more time doing that. Instead of wasting time suffering, spend the time asking for energies. Or you can recite the 9 kalams 3 to 4 times instead of just twice.
I remain stressed.
If there is stress, then remain separate and see it. Oh, you are feeling very stressed. Surrender it at the lotus feet of Dada Bhagwan and ask for the energy. Dada Bhagwan, I hand over my stress to you. Give me the energy to remain in the agnas. Doesn't Dada tell us to say, I am surrendering all the worldly stress at the lotus feet of Dada and I will follow his agnas. Say this sentence 5 to 25 times.
I do say that every morning, but I don't know what's happening. I don't understand.
It's okay. You have the expectation that the complete state should be achieved in a day. That cannot happen. Don't have too many expectations. You are sitting in a train and you want the train to fly like an airplane and reach its destination in 2 minutes. That's not possible. It'll take 12 hours. And some people are coming all the way from Calcutta to Ahmedabad. It will take them 3 days to get here. Some are coming from Assam. It may take them 4 to 5 days to get here. We don't know where we are coming from, but we have found the right train. Be happy, remain in bliss. Blessed is the day when I met Dada and got Dada's Jnana. Remain in awe of that. Otherwise, in this worldly life, there was no talk of attaining liberation. There was also no talk of becoming happy in worldly life. In fact, everything was taking one towards the 6th era of the time cycle. We were in that. We would have ended up in the 6th era. Forget about liberation. We have wandered everywhere in worldly life. Dada saved us from that and made us eligible for the 4th era of the time cycle. These vidhis, reading, samaik, pratikraman, devotional worship, arti, asim jai jaikar, all these are such devotional tools that if you use them, your next birth will improve without doing anything, whether you understand it or not. A train would take those without understanding from Ahmedabad to Mumbai, wouldn't it? And it would take the overwise ones as well, wouldn't it? It would take an attorney as well, wouldn't it? And wouldn't it also take an illiterate person? This is Dada's Akram Express train. It will inevitably take you to moksha. Just keep remembering him. Dada, I don't understand anything. Everything is getting jumbled up within. Dada, I surrender it to you. Keep me under your shelter and take me to the shelter of Lord Simandar Swami in my next life. Why be unhappy? Remain in bliss in this way. Manjula Malde from Mumbai, Patel Ramaben.
Jai Sachidanand. How does I-ness leave?
The easiest way is by not protecting your mistakes.
I-ness remains in temporary things and in people.
Do you do anything when someone points out your mistake? Do you heartily accept your mistake, or instead, do you point out his mistake?
No, I accept it.
Then the I-ness will dissolve. Whenever someone instigates you, don't protect your mistake. Instead, be happy. I wanted to get rid of this disease. So be grateful to him. Instead, what we do is, we protect the I-ness and we get rid of the person who is helping us get rid of the I-ness. So the I-ness becomes stronger.
Yes, but expectations for people remain.
Having expectations is fine, but when the expectations don't get fulfilled, don't make a fuss about it. We should remain in the knowledge of Vyavasthit, because these faults, this filled stock of karma will definitely unfold. But by protecting the filled stock, the faults have persisted.
I don't want to say certain things, yet I end up saying them. I realize it later that I shouldn't have said that.
Make file 1 do pratikraman later. Are you able to do pratikraman?
Yes, I am.
Do you do 5 pratikraman for one mistake or 1 for one?
I do them, and I feel bad about having said such things. I shouldn't have said them.
Make her do pratikraman a few times and then end the matter, so the layers will decrease one by one. Did you understand?
Yes. Jai Sachidanand.
Make sure you read Aptavani 9. It has the medicine for dissolving all forms of ego and I-ness. Study it. Jayesh Parmar, Ramaben Patel.
Jai Sachidanand.
Go ahead.
Deepakbhai, the awakened awareness of separation does not remain.
It doesn't remain.
No.
Then ask for energies from Dada. Repeat those 3 sentences. O Dada Bhagwan, bless me so that whatever you have written manifests within me. Then say, O pure soul, you are separate and Ramaben is separate. You are real and Ramaben is relative. Can you say this?
Yes.
Repeat these 3 sentences 5 to 10 times. Then say, O Dada Bhagwan, give me the strength to maintain the separation. Give me the strength to remain separate and to see and know what Ramaben is doing. By doing this, your strength will increase.
I have a lot of tension and worries.
What are you worried about?
My file 3.
About his health?
Yes, he doesn't keep well.
Then pray to Dada.
I have surrendered him at the lotus feet of Dada.
Still, pray for him. O pure soul within, may he get favorable circumstances and evidences. May things go well for him. May he get the strength to remain in equanimity in times of difficulty. A person who worries cannot help others. The one who prays, the one who does not worry and prays can be more helpful.
I do pray, but the worries don't subside.
That's fine, but keep them separate. Tell Ramaben, Ramaben, pray for him.
Yes, grant me your blessings so that I can pray.
Yes, everything will be all right. And tell your son, has he taken Gnan?
No, he has not.
Help him take Gnan. If he takes Gnan, many of the diseases within will begin to get cured. Happiness can cure all sorts of diseases. And by worrying and getting tensed, quarreling and arguing, even if you don't have any diseases, they will arise.
Yes, give us your blessing for the same.
So the right path is that of Gnan. Just make the effort of bringing him to satsang. Tell him, watch satsang on television. Come to satsang. Come and take Gnan.
Yes, I constantly have that intent.
That's very good. By doing this, he may take Gnan someday. Then he will start liking it. Then the bliss will increase. Jayesh Parmar, and next is Sampatbhai Jadhav from Mehsana.
Jai Sachidanand Pujyashree. This morning, I have written it down.
This morning, with file 2 and 3, what happened with them?
I got into a lot of kashai with them.
Whose fault is that?
It is file 1's fault.
Then did you do pratikraman?
I had done it right then and there.
Alright then, do they have any lingering effects or have they dissolved?
We have not met since.
You haven't met them since. You came here and they are at home?
No, we are all here.
They are all here, correct? So when you meet them for lunch this afternoon, pay attention to them and get some dessert for them. Tell them, have this, you like it, don't you? They will be pleased.
But sometimes, why do I end up hitting them? At that time, there is so much.
That means your kashai are out of control, and so things get spoiled on the outside. The solution for that is, sit for an hour this afternoon and repent. And on days when something major like this happens, sit for an hour or 2 and repent extensively. So then, the kashai which are so intense will become less intense. To what level do we want to bring our spiritual effort? To the level that the overt kashai stop. Moreover, we should be able to turn around the ones that arise within. If our understanding grows to that extent, then we can say that we have made progress. Become strong enough to turn your kashai around. And what is it that you want from this worldly life? What value has been placed on the relative that you feel, you should do this for me, you should do as per what I say, you are like this and you are like that. All this, devalue the relative, then the quarrels will decrease. Check, what was the reason behind the kashai, and on which relative thing did you place value? You should arrive before time, this has to be done, and this shouldn't be done. There are so many such things that we may have insistence for. So when they are not followed, then we try to get our way by doing kashai. And that poor lady has to suffer. Did she marry you to be miserable? And when you hurt your children like this, it puts them in such a bind. Poor things, where can they go? It is like continuously beating a cow that has been tied to a pole. So decide, I shouldn't hurt my family members who are dependent on me. Today you hurt her, so repent extensively. Because you disclose this, a lot of it will be dissolved today. Nevertheless, pay special attention, find the cause behind this fault, and then repent for it. When that cause gets destroyed, the fault will dissolve.
In all this, I especially notice my insistence. All of this happens because of my insistence.
Now devalue the insistence. For that insistence, if she doesn't do things as per your insistence tomorrow, then you should turn it around from within. I don't want to have any insistence. Tell her, think it over. I would like it if it is done this way, and then let it go. The fact is that they are willing to do things as per your liking, but there is a time factor involved. You may insist for things to be done right away. However, if the circumstances are not favorable, they may not be able to do so. So how are they at fault? They indeed have the intent to do things as per your liking, but your insistence and expectations are hurting them. Therefore, you should improve yourself from within. Okay?
Is there no akram shortcut in this?
Yes, there surely is a shortcut. Sit for an hour and repent. Sit for 3 hours instead of 1. In what instances did this arise in my life? For what reason did it arise? What mistake did I make each time? Repent for it. Dig deeper and repent for it. Then it will get washed off speedily. Our Gnan is a ready reference. Set the 5 agnas, the proofs of flawlessness. The fault is of the sufferer. Whatever has happened is justice. When you set Gnan, the faults will dissolve speedily. And if you cannot find what Gnan to set, then read Aptavani 9, Flawless Vision, read the book on Pratikraman. Pick up any book and read Dada's speech. When you read, it will break so many veils of ignorance and you will get the right keys of Gnan. If you set those keys, your worldly interactions will improve and you will become free of kashai from within. Do you understand?
Yes, Jai Sachidanand.
Next, Chandrika from Rajkot. Go ahead.
Jai Sachidanand.
What is it that you want to ask?
When we are doing the Charan Vidhi or file 1 recites sentences of Gnan, or when you are making us do the Vidhi of the pure soul, at that time, should the Mangaldas, physical body complex, and the Bhavo, Kashai-laden believer, remain engrossed while saying it? Or should the Bhavo remain separate from the Mangaldas when saying it?
How do you say it?
Sometimes, when I am doing the Charan Vidhi, I say it while remaining engrossed.
And then?
When I'm repeating the Gnan sentences, I say them with separation.
Let it continue as it is. We should see the results. Don't people ask, did you have to knead the flour 3 times or 5 times to make the millet bread? The end result should be that our stomach gets filled. When the bread gets baked and our stomach gets filled, then it's correct. There's no need to count how many times the flour was kneaded. Doing it with separation, the main thing here is, if you say King Bhartari has to do it, then you say no, Lakshmi Chand has to do it. But Bhartari and Lakshmi Chand are the same. In the relative, he is known as Bhartari, and in the real, he himself is Lakshmi Chand. He is one and the same. So the developing I that prevailed as Chandrika earlier is now prevailing as the pure soul. So you have to make that developing I do it. The direct light of the self, or prajna, remains as the knower of that. You go ahead and do it well. Then the Mangaldas is just one of the many evidences. As the Bhavo does it, it will move towards the self. And all these words are like a taped record. The actions of the body can be seen, but the main doer is not the body. It is the developing I that is the doer. Who is the developing I? The I that believed I am Chandrika. Now that I sides with the pure soul. It has become the awakened self, so it has become the Gnani Bhavo, or the interim state of the self with the right belief. It is the Gnani Bhavo that does it. So the part with the wrong beliefs dissolves and the Gnan part increases. So there is no need to go into too much detail. You should do it with good concentration. When you do it in the presence of the Chit, then the Chit gets purified and you become the form as the self. Do it the easy way. Otherwise, you will end up like that scholar who wondered, is the vessel holding the butter or is it the butter holding the vessel? Is it the vessel or... The Charan Vidhi will remain unfinished and you will keep on wondering, is it the Bhavo that is doing it or is it the Mangaldas that is doing it? You will be lost. Instead, as you keep doing the Charan Vidhi, the veils of ignorance will keep on decreasing and then things will be seen as they are. There is no problem with trying to understand it once in a while. However, for every day, set, Dada, give me the strength to do the Vidhi with concentration. Then read each and every word and do the Vidhi. Do you understand?
And I wanted to understand about Siddhastuti.
Siddhastuti means the main thing is the middle part of our Charan Vidhi. Those Jnana sentences are called Siddhastuti because the sentences that we recite in the Jnana Vidhi are responsible for the direct worship of the self. Those are referred to as Siddhastuti. However, when you try to recite them, in a way, you are adding things to your everyday routine. Instead, take the easy way. Recite the middle part of the Charan Vidhi. From the sentence, I surrender my mind, speech and body, charge karma, subtle discharge karma, and gross discharge karma, from there until the temporary states are simply natural occurrences which do not have a higher authority as the doer, and they are a result of scientific circumstantial evidences. Isn't this part in there?
Yes.
If you recite this much with applied awareness, then that is equivalent to having done Siddhastuti. There is no need for you to say it separately. And if you have the time, then instead of reciting them 5 times, you can recite them 25 or 50 times. I am full of infinite knowledge. I am full of infinite vision. I am full of infinite bliss. I am full of infinite energy. By doing such worship, however, didn't we discuss this during the Aatmgnan Parayan? Spend 45% of your time clearing faults of sexuality, meaning faults of illusory attachment. Spend 45% of your time clearing faults of kashai, and spend 10% of your time worshipping the properties of the self. If we balance everything, then we can progress nicely. Siddhastuti means to worship the properties of the self. Spend a little time for that. Did you understand? Mix it up in this way and do it.
Jai Sachidanand.
Harsha from Rajkot, and then Nandu Padiyar.
Jai Sachidanand. Salutations to Dada Bhagwan.
Go ahead.
Only if the Jagruti, awakened awareness of separation remains from moment to moment, will the karma discharge. Otherwise, it will remain pending. Such Jagruti does not remain for seeing things that have happened before and after Gnan. So then, will this same karmic account come in the next life?
No, for the most part, it is such that whatever is live and bothering us will indeed be seen. That which has died off will not be seen. And if something arises one day, we will wash it off. Don't be burdened about it. The samiks we do during shibers, set the understanding and try to clear it. Wash off whatever you can see. And if you can't see anything, if it isn't live and bothering us, then we won't be able to see it. Most of the stock will die off because it is not accompanied by a grudge or a mental note. If there is a mental note, then we will see it right away. It will cause suffering. When we do pratikraman for that, it will get washed off. And those faults that have not ripened, those that are mild and are not very sticky, most of those, we are resolving not to repeat the mistake. May no one be hurt through the mind, speech and body. I don't want anything besides the experience of the pure soul. Through such intents, the faults that are mild will get destroyed. Wash off the ones you remember, and if you don't, then have a general intent. I ask for forgiveness for whatever illusory attachment I may have had. I resolve to not repeat this mistake again. May I never make these mistakes in my life. Wash off what you can see, and for those you cannot, ask for forgiveness in a general manner. That is known as collective pratikraman. Did you understand?
Give me the energy to remain in the awareness of separation constantly, and to clear each and every circumstance with equanimity.
Yes, that's correct. Nandu Ben. Go ahead.
Jai Sachidanand. When the suffering arises, there is a lot of burning within.
So whose fault will you find in that?
It is indeed my fault, but we live in a joint family.
So what will you do about that? Can you separate from them?
No, but suffering arises and there is burning within.
Let the burning continue, but don't find faults of others.
It is not like that, but...
Don't burn others. Just because you are burning, don't take it out on someone else. Don't speak negatively about others either. I am so unhappy in my home. This person is like this and like that. Calmly go to your room and repent for an hour. See everyone as being faultless. If you see faults of others, then there will be burning. If you see others as faultless, then a state free of uneasiness and agitation will remain.
I am not able to see them as faultless.
Don't worry, pray to Dada Bhagwan. Oh Dada Bhagwan, no one is at fault. It is my intellect that is showing me negatives. It is a fault of my intellect. Give me the energy to see others as faultless. Oh Dada Bhagwan, give me the energy to see others as faultless. Pray like this, then your energy will increase, okay?
Jai Sachidanand.
Will this suit you?
Yes, it suits me. I say it in the morning, but...
Then recite the 9 columns 5 times. Do the Charan Vidhi twice.
After I end up saying such things to others, I bow down to their feet and ask for forgiveness.
Okay, then it will decrease.
There is a lot of burning within.
But hasn't it decreased from before?
Yes, it has decreased significantly.
It will decrease even more. You should continue doing this. You are asking for forgiveness, so a lot of this will get washed off.
I do ask for forgiveness. I fall at their feet and cry and ask for forgiveness. And the fault is indeed mine. None of them are at fault.
However, the love amongst all of you gets restored after that, doesn't it?
They say, "You are not at fault. It must be our fault." They have all taken Gnan, but while one's nature is such that she is indeed the one that creates the ruckus, and then she falls at everyone's feet to ask for forgiveness.
That's all right, but don't fall at their feet too often. Instead, sit for an hour and ask for forgiveness. When you see your Prakriti or relative self, the disease will dissolve. When you repent for an hour in Samik, the disease will dissolve. So you should use this solution. Because if you keep falling at the feet of family members, especially the younger ones, like your daughter-in-law, your son and his children, then they will...
But they are good people.
They are indeed good, but this should be done occasionally. Touch their feet if you have hurt them badly. But in everyday conversations, as you keep washing your faults, they will decrease.
Jai Sachidanand.
Solanki Kanaksi.
Jai Sachidanand Pujyashree.
Go ahead.
A person who can do bad can also do good. So don't have insistence. Inform them and then see what happens. I'm not able to maintain the type of separation that I would like, and with my files,
You end up insisting.
I end up insisting.
If you end up insisting, then make file 1 do pratikraman. And if you can do damage control, then go ahead and do that. How will you do that? After an hour or 30 minutes, go back and say, I insisted that you will have to do this, but I feel that it was indeed my mistake. What do you all think? Let us all decide together and do whatever is feasible for everyone. Let us keep this matter pending for today. Let us think it over, and tomorrow we will decide whatever is feasible. In this way, pull your insistence back.
All right.
So the insistence that you were holding on to, because you said this, the ego and the intellect will stop their ruckus. Oh, it was indeed my fault. If you protect your mistake, the intellect and ego will take over. And if you repent, then the faults will break.
All right.
And if you do damage control at home, then the family members will say, Dad doesn't insist as much as before.
I have that intention, but it still happens.
This is the solution for it. There are 2 solutions. If you can, then do damage control. And if you cannot, then repent from within. And for the next time, make a strong resolve. For any talk that arises tomorrow, I don't want to have insistence. What does everyone think? You already know what you know. Allow others to use their knowledge and develop as well.
They have all taken Gnan, but they don't remain in it completely. So I get even more suffering.
No, instead of that, what should you do in that? If you keep seeing how they are not remaining in Jnana, that itself is a sign of your ignorance.
That's true.
Their self is indeed a Gnani. It is their filled stock of karma that is bothering them. It is not their fault. You should pray for them, it is such that, what solution can you do for them to remain in Jnana as per your intentions? You can bring them to satsang more often. Watch more video satsangs at home. Do arti and asim jejekar at home. Find such solutions.
Okay.
What we should do is find a solution. For example, these people tell others to come in a line. Now, there is no line that has been set, so how will people come in a line? So the solution is to leave the ones that are already here and set a line for the people in the back. Let us come in from this way and exit from that way. Then gradually the line will get formed and people will follow it. But instead we keep saying, you aren't following the line and you are pushing and shoving. But at least set the line. Find a solution. What is the solution? Use chairs and tables to mark the pathway, so people will understand that they have to come in from here and exit from there. When you look for a solution, you will find it. And if you don't find a solution and keep seeing faults of others, then you will continue to have suffering and inner burning.
Give me the energy to do such spiritual effort.
Yes, find a solution and set it. Bring them to satsang or watch video satsangs at home.
Jai Sachidanand.